Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And we did a video about this. Oh my goodness, it may have been on our first channel several years ago. I couldn't find it on our new channel, so who knows. We may have just mentioned it in one of the other videos, but who knows what video that was. Now, Dallas, Canada has done several videos about this book, and I know that many of you are so new coming out and you're just new to the YouTube community, and you may not see these old videos. Same thing with ours. You may not see our old videos that we did like 4 or 5 years ago. So I just wanted to mention this book. Now, I'm going to put the link down below to the PDF because it's from 1933, and as far as I can find out, there is no copyright on it. And so, like I said, it's available online, so I'm going to put the link down below. And it's funny because someone had sent me an email about, the Freemason connection. And I know many are doing videos, pros and cons about, Watchtower's connections with Freemasons. And I had started watching a video yesterday that someone had done. And I just wanted to say that when Mike said, if you can't see this, you've got to be a moron, he wasn't talking to everybody who disagrees with him. He was talking about the regressive elder specifically. But some people just have to criticize us. Oh well. Have you guys ever heard about this book, Occult Theocracy? Many may not, because it's from 1933. Now, I came across it back when we got Beastzilla. That's where I first saw it. And I just want to read a few things and have a few screenshots. As you can see here on the inside cover page, it has Occult Theocracy. Now, I wasn't familiar with this spelling of theocracy because we always spell it C-Y. So I went to the dictionary and I looked up both of them because we know that Watchtower says that their organization is a theocracy, which means God rule, Jehovah rule. And we've mentioned this before that, really it doesn't. So, the way Watchtower spells theocracy, Theocracy, I'm going to read the definition. Government of a state by immediate divine guidance or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided. State governed by a theocracy. So, that is what that theocracy means. May or may not be God rule. It could be, church and state rule. But in this book, Occult Theocracy, it's spelled with an S-Y. And first I'm going to read, now this book is written by Lady Queenborough Edith Starr Miller. And like I said, it's from 1933. But her definition here on this inside cover page, theocracy, adaptation of Greek from God mingling. Ancient myth, a mingling of various deities or divine attributes into one personality. Kind of like the Trinity. Also, a mixture of the worship of different deities. And she has the Murray New English Dictionary. That's where she got hers. Well, let me read what the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, modern day dictionary, says about theocracy, S-Y. A fusion or mixture of different deities in the minds of worshippers. The theocracy of divinities of East and West. That's an example. Also, the identification of formerly separate deities. And their example is the theocracy of Zeus and Helios in the invocation of Zeus, Helios as one God. Definition number 2. An intimate union of the soul with the one or God in contemplation. So there you get, the definitions of this. Now, I would like to take the time to read the foreword, because I know most of us, when we look at a book, we don't read the foreword. But I thought there was a few things interesting in here. This book makes no claim to literary merit. It is simply a work of research and documentation, given evidence and facts which I trust will help the reader in drawing his own conclusions. And, that's my feeling on this also. I don't care if you believe one way or another, but we just like to present evidence of something else to look at. That's all we do. In the course of my researches as an international political investigator into the causes of social unrest, I have probed the depths of infamy which now surrounds not ours only, but also the next generation. Now, what's interesting is this was written back in the 30s. Whose right to lead a decent life should be as good as ours was. As a woman of the world, I have witnessed things the existence of which I did not suspect, and I have realized that due to my protected position in life, they should never have been expected to have come to my knowledge. Let me tell every woman, however much protected, whether dairymaid or duchess, that the safeguards which she imagines to be thrown around herself are but a mirage of the past. Her own and her children's future are at the mercy of those forces, the activities of which it has been my business for the last 10 years to follow as one of a group of investigators. Today, most of the good people are afraid to be good. They strive to be broad-minded and tolerant. It is fashionable to be tolerant. It amazed Mike and I that this was from the 30s, when so much of this is going on now, but mostly tolerant of evil. And this new code has reached the proportions of demanding intolerance of good. The wall of resistance to evil has thus been broken down and no longer affords protection to those who, persecuted by evildoers, stand in need of it. Worse still, there are cases wherein virtuous people's good name is relentlessly filched from them, taken from them. But no effort will be made by the presumed good people to rally to their defense. Happy are they if they themselves can discover the cause of their ruin, material or moral, either partial or total. In offering this book to the public, I have endeavored to expose some of the means and methods used by a secret world, one might almost say an underworld, to penetrate, dominate, and destroy not only the so-called upper classes, but also the better portion of all classes. There are those who feel confident that if they refrain from joining any society or group and avoid entanglements, no harm can befall them. To such, let me say that situations can be and are created for innocent dupes every day, and wrecked homes are the direct result. Neither fortune nor a blameless life led, as it were, in an island of strict virtue in the midst of a tumultuous sea of evil spells security. Irrefutable evidence of a particular example of underworld tyranny has come into my possession. The victim's guilt was her reluctance to step from virtue into the mire of evil which surrounded her. Moreover, she was intolerant of evil and sought to oppose and destroy it. The case of her persecution at the hands of her foes is complete. She belonged to what is termed society, as did also some of the other actors in this bewildering drama. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is all of this about? It gets better. The world, social, financial, legal, and shall we say also the underworld, leaving to this word its generally accepted literal meaning, knows them. So many Jekylls and Hydes stalk about unsuspectingly in our midst. From such an example, I've been led to the conclusion that, among others, 3 factors can help one from being completely destroyed by the combined forces of that underworld: a flawless life, independent means, and real friends, all 3 of which must be backed by a fearless determination to fight evil on all points of the Masonic compass. See, and that's what this is all about. It's a war. In these days when apparently vice triumphs and virtue must be penalized, it may be well for all of us to fight the undertow by which our children may be dragged under and must of necessity perish. Vice rings and secret societies form but one vortex into which youth is drawn and destroyed, whilst the good people, because of their ignorance, look on helplessly in despair. It is for their instruction that this book has been written. Its compilation has taken several years, and had it not been for the generous efforts of one of my friends, looks like Madame de Shishmaref, and of several other persons, I would never have been able to complete the task which I set out to accomplish. What must concern all of us now is the protection of decency, in other words, equal rights. And isn't that what all of us have been fighting here on YouTube? Is human rights. That's what it all boils down to. But yet there's some who, just will not allow other people to have their rights. They want to enforce their beliefs, their rights on all of us. And we see that every day. I'll read that again. What must concern us all now is the protection of decency, or in other words, equal rights, for such as are not vice adepts. This book is not complete. It will never be complete. But for the present, it must remain as a study of the root conditions which have led to present-day subversive upheavals and the overthrow of the principles of Christian civilization. Edith Queenborough. Now you may be wondering, like I said, what the heck has this got to do? And when you look at this book, it's in 2 volumes. It's 789 pages. Now, I'm not going to say, you have to believe my way. You have to believe, there's a connection with Watchtower and, the Freemasons or Knights Templar. I'm not going to say that because I don't care. But in this book, she talks about these secret societies. Knights Templar, Freemasons, she's even got like Jews and some of these other, cults in here. When you go to page 539, she has the Russellites, or the International Bible Students, founded in 1879. And you read this, how it was founded by Charles T. Russell. And she has them pegged. I'm telling you, she has them pegged. And it says the International Bible Student Movement was founded by C.T. Russell with the object chiefly of attracting the lower middle class intelligentsia of Christian communities, such as certain clerical workers, teachers, servants, and persons not accessible to direct forms of propaganda. Just like Watchtower today. In America, the movement has had great influence among the, I'm just going to say black element, because she uses the N word here. I don't like that word. In 1879, Russell founded the Watchtower, of which he was the sole editor. The Russellite teaching, drawing its own arbitrary conclusions and proclaiming them as final, professes to prove from biblical sources that all Christian churches are evil and corrupt, that the time of the Gentiles ended in 1914, and that the Jews must henceforth reign supreme over the world. It also elaborates an occult dogma alleged to be based on biblical precedents. And then she goes on to talk about this. Now, when you go back to the index, and I'm going to show you a screenshot here. Do you see? She has Russell. Now she has Charles Laze Russell, but you can see that it has page 539 as a reference. Well, when you go to page 539, it's that one I just read. And then when you look down below, Rutherford, page 540, and that's where it's referenced for J.F. Rutherford. Now when you go look at Charles Russell, do you see those 3 dots next to his name? Go back to her key of what that means. It means they were Freemason. Now, I don't know where she got this information. She claims to have gotten it from several people. Like I said, I don't know if he was a Mason or not. I don't know if he was a Knights Templar or not. You know, I'm not going to push this belief on other people. But why would she mention this? You know, what I wish she would have what references of where she got this information. Maybe she had somebody on the inside. I don't know. And there's something else I would like to point to your attention on page 698. And it's talking about the brethren. Under the subheading 12th house, point number 72. The secrecy of the order provides its members with an inviolable shroud of concealment. So this is right in, you know, basically their bylaws and rules, that they are entitled to concealment. So this is why, you know, you cannot find them black and white, you know, for sure evidence, because you're not going to find it. But anyway, when you read this book, even though it was back in the 30s, it was like, wow, you know, we see so much of this, of, you know, the powers to be, of trying to control people. And let's face it, these higher-ups, they think we're all idiots. You know, we're just the ignorant masses. That's how they view us. We're just stupid people. And, you know, same thing with the Judeo-Christian Bible. We're just ignorant, sinful people that just can't do anything right. So, anyway, I want to talk about something else. I know many in the XJW community doesn't like this infighting and, oh, why can't we just get along? And, you know, you guys focus on Watchtower, forget about these trolls. And I wish that were true. I would love for everybody to leave everybody alone and just focus on their own stuff. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen, because then you get, you know, some psychopathic trolls, you know, that just cannot leave people alone, you know, aka Bible bullies. But it gets to the point to where you just have to let the community know. And so, you know, we've kept quiet for a long time, and we're just going to start letting people know what we deal with behind the scenes. There is so much crap that goes on behind the scenes. I can see why all of the YouTubers end up retiring and just walking away from it, because it's difficult dealing with all the crap and the lies and the slander and the libel and the attacks and everything else. So I'm going to tell you, we have an Etsy store where we sell our items. And one of the Bible bullies even made a comment about, you know, oh, let me know where it is so I can go, you know, buy some of your 99-cent jewelry. And he thinks that's hilarious. But the thing is when they start sending messages through either eBay or Etsy and interfering with your business, this is when it gets serious. This is when I get angry. I get pissed. This is the message we got through our Etsy store. It's a meme with Mike with devil horns and says the son of Satan. Do you guys see what we deal with? This interferes with our business, our livelihood. And the sick individual that does crap like this, guess what? I had to call Etsy. I had to spend 2 hours on the phone with Etsy explaining all of this, and then them waiting to get in touch with the tech support so they could find out who this was. And unfortunately, they can't tell me who it was, but they did block the person. But see, all the person does is create another fake account and come after us and make comments through our store. This is our business. Do you see the twisted individuals we're dealing with? So this is very upsetting, you know, because I know who it was. I have a pretty good idea of who it was. It's one of the Bible bullies. And I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of saying who it is. And so all of you who support him, and make these comments underneath his videos saying, oh, great job, you know, yeah, Mike and Kim are way out there, they've lost it. And I've had it just about up to here. Well, thank you for watching, and like I said, I'm going to put the link down below. And thank you everybody for the cards and emails and information. So anyway, you all have a great day. Bye.